my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be testing out an idea that's been rattling inside my brain. Let's get into it. So in today's video, we are finally going to put to use the fabrics that were scrapped that we sewed together in a long chain. We did this like, I don't know, 6 months or a year ago. I'll find the video and link it down below. So I am going to be taking apart some of these chains. However, the idea here is that we're going to try and maximize the sizes of what we have. So I'm not using any particular size. That being said, my idea is to make some drawstring pouches. So the exterior will be these pieced panels, and then the interior will be all these different satins that I have. And what I'm thinking is that if I take the panels, either fold them in half and use them that way, like this is one bag, this is one bag, and I'll like seam rip it right here. The other idea is that I could just like fold it in half and make a big bag, but I can serge. I'll have 4 pieces. I'll have 2 inside pieces and 2 outside pieces, and I can serge the inside piece to the outside piece, so then I have 2 pieces, and then I'll just sew it like a regular bag. That way we don't have any raw edges, because all of these pieced together panels have a ton of raw edges, and that's my thought. Let's see how it plays out, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. If it works, that's great. I have ironed all the panels, so here's our first one. You could tell it's bigger than 36 inches. So if I fold it over, about here is halfway. So I'm gonna try and see what the most uniform size is for all the panels and see if we can get some sort of standard size. Let me fold all the panels like in halves or thirds and see what size I come up with. Here is the second panel. You can tell this one's much longer. Panel 3, this one's definitely my favorite, and panel number 4. Here is what we're working with. Like I said, it's not a perfect science, so this first one I folded in 3, so I'm going to trim up the edges, cut it in half, and cut it in thirds. The next one, if I could reach it, the next one is folded in 4s. So these remaining 3 panels are kind of the same size. They are about 20 by 20-ish. So this is folded in 4s, and then the other 2 are folded in half. So let me go ahead, trim them, cut them in half, and then we'll have all of our front and back panels. I've got all of the panels cut. They are all squared up now. However, I don't think my initial idea is going to work. So if I folded this over and made this into a bag, it's going to be like this really long bag, which is cool for like, I don't know, wine or bottles or long gifts, but typical gifts are not that size. So I think that I should like fold them up and then cut them like this, or maybe just cut them in half, like fold them long ways and then cut them in half again, so that then the bags are more square. I think that'll be a better size. That's just my thought. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep chopping. Here we are. We've got all the panels cut, so now we need to pick out the matching lining. So I'm gonna go to my satin remnants and find the best size match and color match for each piece. And so some of these are longer, some of them are shorter. I think I'm actually going to make the fold the bottom. That's what I'm thinking. So like all of these, so some are vertical stripes, some are horizontal stripes, but I'm really excited. There's going to be a lot of variety, and I'm excited to see how these turn out. Here are all of the panels pinned onto different satins. So I'm going to go ahead and trim, iron, serge the edges, and we will start making the pouches. Here are the panels all serged together. I am absolutely loving how this is turning out. So the next step is to take the panels and go to the iron, and I don't know if I want to fold them this way with like the lining showing, or if I want to fold them inwards, but I need to make the channel on both sides for the like pull tab, right, for the cord to go through. And then, so I'm gonna iron those down, and then I'm gonna cut the box corners, and we will go from there. Here's how we're looking. So I went ahead and folded these over twice with 1 inch, and so they match up. This is the pretty side to pretty side, so this is the right side of the fabric, this is the wrong side of the fabric, and I went ahead and did an inch box corner. I don't know if I'm going to do an inch for all of them, but for this one I'm doing an inch. And then I need to like take out these pins, and I will go to the sewing machine and sew. Sorry, it's hard to do with one hand. I'm going to sew along these lines here to connect, because then once I turn it right side out, I'll be able to fold this twice and then be able to make my channel. And then I also need to sew like down the sides, and then I can box these corners and sew them, and then I'll need to serge these raw edges. So let me do that part and we'll see how it goes. Let me correct my statement real quick. So I'm going to sew up to the point of where the channel is going to be, and then I'm going to stop stitching. So I'm going to back tack, go back tack, skip this, back tack, go down, back tack, and then do that on the other side, and then box the corners, because this channel needs to be available to be able to put the string through. So here's how we're looking. So we've got it stitched and boxed. I need to serge this, and then we will bring this down twice and top stitch. I'll show you what it looks like. So here is how the pouch is looking. I have to say, I really don't like it. I don't know what is wrong and why it's not great, but I've got the string here, and I went ahead and I stitched this down. I thought I would be able to roll this over twice, but I can't. I can only roll it over once because here's the hole. So let me stick the string in and we'll see what it looks like. So here's the pouch with the string, and I only did the string on one side because if you use a string that has any sort of texture and you do it on both sides and they get caught up, it doesn't work well. It's easier to just have it on one side. I don't know, it's okay. I definitely don't like the vertical stripe, so I can't remember, I told you I did a variety, but I hope the other ones are going horizontal. I don't know, I don't really like how it turned out. Let me cinch it. Like, it's a functional bag. It works. It serves its purpose. It's not the vision that I had. I do like the fact that on the inside, the lining is going to stay exactly where it is. If you have ever made a bag before and you do the method of, turning it through from the lining and you have to stitch that closed, the lining like always moves around. So I do really like the idea that the lining is staying put, but it just didn't turn out how I had it envisioned. So I'm going to step away and think about it some more and try and assemble the second bag in a different manner, and hopefully it'll come out more like what I'm thinking. But at least we have a functional bag. I know I can make functional bags, but I want it to be better. So I want to try again. Okay, this time I'm trying it a little different. I folded it over just a hair and I stitched that down, and then it's folded over an inch. So I'm going to sew it now this way, like just from here down, and then turn it right side out. Let's give this a shot. Okay, this is a lot better. So what I'm going to do is fold the seam allowance down and in like this. It's hard to do one-handed, but down and in. And then that's going to create the little pocket right here. And then we can run the cord through. So I'm just going to do a stitch right here to hold this part down. I'm going to do that on all four. You can see here that I sewed it down like in a U shape. So I started on one side, went down, around, and back up, and I did that on both of them. I also boxed the corners an inch each, and I did it an inch from the sewn line, which is what someone told me to do in my other video. So now I'm going to fold this down and then stitch around to make the enclosure, and we will turn it right side out and put some string through it. This is looking a lot better. So here is the channel. Now, this is the inch mark that I did. So I think on the next bag, I'm actually going to do 2 inches because I need to fold it in half to this point. So I'm not going to be able to use this thicker cord. I'm going to have to find a thinner one, but that's okay. I'll find a thinner cord. But this is creating a better channel that I wanted. Here is attempt number 2. This looks a lot better. The channel is fully exposed up here at the top. and I want it to be able to be stitched on the top line as well, like I did with the other one, how I stitched on the top and bottom of the channel. So the next bag, I'm going to do a 2-inch fold over, and I think then we'll be at the right place. But let me show you how it closes. Can I stick this on something? Let's see here. This is how it closes. So this closes better, but let's do attempt number 3 real quick. I'm not going to film the steps. I'm just going to show you at the end, but we're almost there. So close. We are so close, guys. We are almost there. This is attempt number 3. I love how they're stitching on the top and the bottom, and the 2 inches was the appropriate amount. So I just know the last changes I want to make are where I sew on the side. So see how this is a lot tighter and this has more space. So I'm going to sew with my presser foot, saying that the edge of the serger is the edge of the fabric, not the edge of the fabric is the edge of the fabric, because I like how this looks and I like the extra space. It just works out better. So I'm going to do all the rest of them like this, and then with this amount of space at the top. And the 1-inch bottom is working. It looks very nice. So now I got to do this whole rest of the stack, and if I can knock it out tonight, I'll show you what they look like. Alrighty, it is 10 o'clock, so I am going to call it quits. I have all of these other bags to the point of where the corners, the box corners are sewn. So I am going to finish off one of them. I like this one, so I'm going to do this one, and I will show you how it looks with all of the updates. Something else I did is I was opening the seams as I was doing the center. That'll help better open the seam up here. I could even iron this, like put a pressing ham in the middle and then iron it flat. That would help as well, but I'm not going to go through all that effort. But let me get this together and I'll show you the final result. Here is the best bag. It has all of the features. You can see that the seam is nice and open here. We have the drawstring right here. I could certainly add one on the other side as well if you wanted like a double drawstring. However, like I said, with the thicker string, it's easier just to have one. 1-inch box corner. I love how these turned out. Like, this has been really fun trying to figure out what the best method was, and I'm definitely going to make all the rest of these bags. I will show them to you next week when I have them all done. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you like the changes I made? Do you have any other suggestions? Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.